Okay, so you have managed to play your first beat. Congratulations! Because you now understand how beats are made, it is time for us to talk about playing the drums in time. Now, this is one of the most fundamental things a drummer must know and learn. Generally, when songs are crafted and recorded, they are usually based on a certain tempo that is consistent throughout. Now, you may ask me, what is tempo? In musical terminology, tempo is the speed or pace of a given piece. In classical music, tempo is typically indicated with an instruction at the start of a piece, usually in Italian terms like allegro, andante, and is usually measured in beats per minute, or what we term in short as BPM. You're going to want to take note of this term as you'll be hearing it a lot from now on. In modern compositions, a metronome mark in beats per minute may supplement or replace the normal tempo marking, while in modern genres like electronic dance music, tempo will typically simply be stated in BPM. So to introduce BPM into this lesson, I would like to introduce the metronome. The metronome is a device that produces an audible click or other sounds at regular intervals that can be set by the user, typically in beats per minute, BPM. Musicians use this device to practice playing to a regular pulse. Metronomes typically include synchronized visual motion, for example, swinging pendulum or blinking lights. But for today, I will show you what a metronome with an audible click is. So this is an example of a metronome of that sort. The basic feature of such a device is to have a knob or button that can dial in a tempo that you want. And of course, it will also have to have a start button to get the tempo started. So people often ask me, can a metronome help you get great timing sense when playing? And you probably know the answer to this already. Yes, definitely. Practicing the technical stuff with the metronome will do wonders for your drumming journey. For example, when I'm on stage playing a show, I use a sequencer that plays through my in-ear monitors. There is always a click there, and because I'm accustomed to a metronome, following the click is second nature for me. However, this natural sense is due to constant use of the metronome during practice. Okay, so we now know that practicing with a metronome improves your internal sense of time. But to get that sense of time, you must be first able to distinguish if you are on time, speeding up, or slowing down while practicing with a metronome. More importantly, one indication that you are on time while practicing with your metronome is that you don't hear the clicks at all. Okay, so to demonstrate how we make use of the metronome, I'm going to explain the basics of a metronome. Okay, so if you look at this metronome, and it should apply to majority of the metronomes in the market, you will see the note values on these knobs. The first is the quarter note knob, and then the 8 notes, and then the 16 notes, and then triplets. These are the basic note values you should see on any metronome. So if I were to say, do a quarter note click at 60 BPM, this is how I would do it. I would crank up the quarter note knob with all the other knobs down, okay, just this one, except for the master of course, and dial in a 60 as the tempo. You hit start. So you get a quarter note tempo of 60 BPM, of which the way we count is how we used the numbering system earlier, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So if I were to play a quarter note beat on this, it would look and sound like this. Okay, so here's the trick. Sometimes when you use the metronome, you want to hear a little bit more to keep you on track. For example, when you are playing a quarter note beat, dial in 8 notes on the metronome. If you're playing an 8-note beat, dial in 16 notes on the metronome. The reason for this is simple. Our ears usually need a guide to let you know where we are, and the extra notes in between provide a better guide for us when playing a beat. So for example, let's play the same quarter note beat, but let's dial in an 8-note value click, still using the tempo of 60 BPM, and this is how I would play it. So the same setup applies for your 16 notes and triplets. In later lessons, we will learn how to do more with the click involved as a guide. Remember, when practicing, the metronome is your friend. And yes, sometimes it can get really frustrating, but by far and large, it will do wonders on your drumming advancement. So there you have it. You now know the method of practicing to keep in time. It takes a lot of practice, and there are a few exercises attached in the lesson to make sure you get the most of your exercises. Go through them, spend some time with them, and once you're comfortable with that, I will see you in the next